when you decide to act as if nothing affects you, when you choose to stand with a stillness that confuses your enemies and shocks the world, something supernatural begins to rise inside you. There is a strength that God releases only when you refuse to be shaken by the noise around you. There is a glory that God reveals only when you hold your peace, keep your composure, and refuse to let negativity pull you into its storm. People may expect you to break. Circumstances may expect you to collapse. Life may expect you to surrender under pressure. But when you act as if nothing affects you, when you lift your head, steady your spirit, and say within yourself, God is with me, you step into a realm where ordinary people cannot stand. You begin to walk with a calm that is not human, a confidence that is not natural, and a peace that does not come from this world. And in that silence of the soul, God pours His glory. There are moments in life when everything around you is designed to provoke you. People will test you, situations will push you, negativity will try to invade your heart, but there is a power in refusing to react. There is a spiritual authority in choosing not to let the chaos determine your inner world. When you act as if nothing affects you, you are not pretending, you are demonstrating faith. You are declaring with your posture, with your silence, with your discipline, that you trust God more than you trust your emotions. You trust God more than you trust the situation. You trust God more than you trust what your eyes can see. And God honors that kind of faith. God honors the one who refuses to be shaken. God honors the one who chooses inner stability over outward noise. God honors the one who stays calm because their confidence is rooted in Him. There is a spiritual strength that grows when you no longer allow situations to dictate your mood. When you learn to smile even when life feels heavy. When you keep your peace even when the world throws chaos your way. When you maintain stability in the middle of unpredictability, you activate a different level of God's movement in your life. The moment you stop letting everything affect you, you become spiritually unshakable. You stop being controlled by fear. You stop being manipulated by people's behavior. You stop being enslaved to circumstances. Instead, you step into the freedom God intended for you. A freedom where your emotions are not determined by external events, but by the quiet strength God places inside you. But many people do not understand this discipline. They think strength is loud. They think victory is dramatic. They think power is shown through reaction. Yet the highest form of faith is often silent. The strongest person is often the person who doesn't respond. The most spiritually mature person is often the one who smiles while the storm rages. The one who says nothing while being provoked. The one who keeps walking while others try to pull them backward. The one who trusts God so deeply that they don't even flinch at what others panic over. This is not weakness. This is spiritual mastery. This is faith refined. This is what it means to walk with God in a way most people cannot understand. The truth is, when you act as if nothing affects you, you are protecting your destiny. Because destiny can be destroyed by unnecessary reactions. Many blessings have been delayed simply because a person reacted emotionally instead of spiritually. Many breakthroughs have been postponed because someone allowed anger, fear, or insecurity to take control. Many doors remained closed because people chose reaction over restraint. But when you refuse to be affected, when you say, I will not let this disturb my spirit, you safeguard the path God is preparing for you. You shield your peace. You guard your blessings. You preserve your focus. And in doing so, you accelerate the arrival of the very things you've been praying for. Every time you act unaffected, you rise above. You become untouchable to negativity. The enemy loses access to your mind. Stress loses authority over your heart. Fear loses its voice. Anxiety loses its grip. You become a person who is rooted in God. And a person rooted in God cannot be shaken by temporary events. That is why God tells you not to respond to everything you feel, not to fight every battle, not to absorb every emotion, not to internalize every attack. Because when you react, you descend to the level of the situation. But when you stay calm, you remain in the place where God's glory can be revealed. Do you know why some people want to see you react? Because your reaction validates their power. Your reaction shows them they can shake you. Your reaction gives their behavior meaning. Your reaction gives the situation authority. But when you stay calm, when you choose stillness, when you act as though nothing affects you, you remove their power. You silence their influence. You take back your spiritual ground. And God sees it. God sees when you restrain yourself. God sees when you hold your peace. God sees when you keep your composure. And God rewards restraint. God honors discipline. God elevates those who refuse to be moved by the noise of the world. There is a deep spiritual truth. Acting as though nothing affects you is not pretending. It is prophesying. You are speaking into your spirit that nothing will break you. You are declaring with your behavior that you trust God to handle what you cannot. You are affirming your identity as someone who is guided, protected, and strengthened by God. This is not denial, this is direction. You are directing your mind toward faith. You are directing your heart toward peace. You are directing your soul toward God's plan, not the chaos of the moment. Understand something important. Your calm is a weapon. Your stillness is a shield. Your peace is a strategy. God uses the calmness of His people to confuse the attackers. God uses the stillness of your mind to defeat the chaos sent against you. When you remain calm in the face of adversity, you send a message to the spiritual realm that you are guarded by something far greater than what you are facing. And nothing terrifies darkness more than a person who refuses to be shaken. Every time you refuse to react, you break a cycle. You break the cycle of emotional instability. You break the cycle of overthinking. You break the cycle of anxiety. You break the cycle of fear. You break the cycle of spiritual weakness. And you begin building a new cycle, one of faith, one of discipline, one of inner strength, one of divine resilience. This is how God shapes you. Not by removing all adversity, but by teaching you how to stand above it. When you act as if nothing affects you, it doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let feelings control your destiny. It means you don't let temporary emotions sink permanent opportunities. It means you don't let momentary pain create lifelong damage. Instead, you rise. You elevate your perspective. You elevate your reactions. You elevate your behavior. And in that elevation, God meets you. Think of how many moments in life tried to break you but didn't. Think of every time you thought it was over but somehow you made it through. Think of all the situations that pushed you to your limit, yet you're still here. Those moments were not accidents. Those moments were training. God was building you into someone who could stand still while storms raged. Someone who could trust even when nothing made sense. Someone who could remain calm even when everything felt unstable. You were being shaped to live above the noise, not inside it. The world teaches you to respond to everything, but God teaches you to respond only to Him. When you act unaffected by negativity, you are turning your attention away from the world and toward God. You are saying, what the world is doing does not determine my peace. What people say does not define my spirit. What circumstances look like does not override what God is doing behind the scenes. And when you think like this, when you walk like this, when you live like this, you become unstoppable. But don't misunderstand, acting unaffected is not about pride. It It is not about pretending to be invincible. It is about surrender. It is about trusting God deeply enough to let go of the impulse to react. It is about believing that God sees, God knows, God hears, and God will handle what your reaction never could. Many people react because they feel no one is fighting for them. But when you know God is fighting for you, you don't need to waste your energy in battles too small for your calling. The moment you stop reacting, you start rising. When you walk through life with a calm spirit, you unlock clarity. You begin to see solutions that panic would have hidden. You begin to hear God's guidance in ways stress would have silenced. You begin to sense direction that loud emotions would have drowned out. Peace makes you spiritually sensitive. Calmness opens your spiritual ears. Stillness positions you to receive from God. And what happens when you step into this level of peace? God's glory begins to surround you in ways you've never experienced before. People notice it. Your presence changes. Your energy changes. Your atmosphere changes. You carry quiet power. You carry silent authority. You carry a peace that makes others wonder how you're standing. She's so strong. This is the glory God releases over a person who refuses to be shaken. Do you realize how powerful it is when you walk away from negativity without reacting? Do you realize how powerful it is when you keep your composure in situations meant to break you? Do you realize how powerful it is when you remain steady in seasons where others collapse? That is when God lifts you. That is when God increases you. That is when God expands you. Because God elevates people who can handle elevation. And the person who reacts to everything is not ready for more. The person who stays calm is the one God can trust with responsibility, expansion, and blessing. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you choose growth over stagnation, you choose maturity over impulsiveness, you choose destiny over distraction, you choose God over emotion. That is why acting as if nothing affects you is a spiritual discipline. It is a training of the soul. It is teaching yourself to remain aligned with God no matter what tries to pull you off balance. Think of the times you've reacted emotionally. What did it bring? More stress, more tension, more chaos, more regret. But think of the times you held your peace. What did it bring? Clarity, strength, inner victory, spiritual confidence. When you stay calm, you win battles no one sees. You win battles within yourself. You win battles against old patterns. You win battles against fear. You win battles against the enemy's attempts to intimidate you. The truth is, the enemy tries hardest to provoke the people he cannot control. The more you grow spiritually, the more provocation you will face. The more God prepares to elevate you, the more negativity will try to distract you. The more your destiny approaches, the more situations will arise designed to pull you out of character. But you must stand firm. You must refuse to be moved. You must act as if nothing affects you. Not because you are numb, but because you are spiritually anchored. People will wonder why you're not responding. They will wonder why you're not crumbling. They will wonder how you remain so calm. And their confusion will be the evidence of God's glory resting upon you. Because God's glory is not always loud. Sometimes God's glory is the quietness of your spirit. Sometimes God's glory is the restraint you show. Sometimes God's glory is the stability you maintain. Sometimes God's glory is the peace you carry in the face of storms. When you act as though nothing affects you, you give God space to work. Because reaction closes the door to divine intervention. Reaction invites chaos. But stillness invites God. The moment you let go, God steps in. The moment you stop fighting battles that are not yours, God begins fighting them for you. The moment you remove your hands from the situation, God places His hand upon it. You were not created to live in constant reaction. You were created to walk in divine peace. You were created to live in spiritual strength. You were created to carry calm authority. You were created to reflect the glory of God. And that glory shines brightest when you stand firm and let nothing move you. When you reach the point where nothing around you can dictate the atmosphere within you, you enter a level of spiritual clarity that cannot be shaken by any storm. There is a dimension of strength that God reserves for those who refuse to let circumstances contaminate their peace. When you walk through fire, but your expression remains unbothered. When you pass through the valley, but your heart stays steady. When you endure pressure, but your spirit remains calm, you are sending a message to the universe that your stability comes from God alone. And this is where transformation begins. Because every time you choose calmness over chaos, you are rewriting the patterns of your past. You are breaking generational reactions. You are teaching your soul how to rise above instead of collapse beneath. And God sees every quiet victory within you. Victories no one applauded, no one noticed, but heaven recorded. There is a holy strength in those who smile while carrying battles that would have crushed lesser hearts. There is greatness in the one who absorbs pain but refuses to release poison. There is spiritual excellence in the one who whispers gratitude, even in seasons that seem empty. When you act as if nothing affects you, you are not denying the weight of your journey. You are declaring the supremacy of God's hand over your life. You are proclaiming that what surrounds you does not control what sustains you. You are affirming that your peace is not on loan from circumstances. It is a gift directly breathed into your soul by God. The world does not understand this kind of strength. It looks like indifference, but it is discipline. It looks like detachment, but it is deep faith. It looks like silence, but it is spiritual intelligence, because reacting is easy. Anyone can panic, anyone can complain, anyone can shout when life becomes uncomfortable. But the person who remains still, steady, and spiritually focused, that is the person who has tapped into something eternal. That is the person who walks with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that God does not abandon his own. That is the person who understands that battles fought in the heart are won not by outward reaction, but by inward conviction. Every time you refuse to react, you are exercising spiritual authority. You are telling the storm, you will not decide who I become. You are telling worry, you have no space here. You are telling negativity, I do not accept your invitation. And God honors this posture. God breathes strength into the old. He who chooses inner discipline over outward chaos. God lifts the one who guards their peace as though it is sacred, because it is. Peace is not the absence of storms. Peace is the presence of God within them. When you act as if nothing affects you, you are choosing to stand in the presence of God instead of drowning in the noise of the world. You must understand that peace is not passive. Peace is a weapon. Peace destabilizes darkness. Peace confuses opposition. Peace exposes the weakness of your enemies. When people expect you to break and you don't, when they expect you to respond and you stay calm, when they expect you to fall apart and you stand firmer than ever, it becomes clear that something far greater than your personality is holding you together. That strength is God. That stillness is God. That unexplainable calmness is the signature of God's hand resting upon you. There will always be voices around you trying to pull you into reaction. Voices of fear, voices of doubt, voices of offense, voices of frustration. But when you train your spirit to remain quiet, when you train your heart to remain still, when you train your mind to remain aligned with God, you begin to hear a different voice, the voice of direction, the voice of reassurance, the voice of wisdom, the voice of divine clarity. And it is in that voice, quiet yet powerful, that you discover the path God has been preparing for you. Acting as though nothing affects you does not mean abandoning emotion. It means mastering emotion. It means refusing to let temporary feelings sabotage permanent blessings. It means learning to experience emotion without surrendering to it. It means learning to acknowledge pain without becoming it. It means learning to walk through disappointment without allowing it to rewrite your identity. It means learning to wait without complaining, endure without collapsing, believe without wavering. This is the kind of strength that shapes destinies. The greatest breakthroughs often come to those who maintain peace in the middle of pressure. Because pressure is not meant to break you, it is meant to reveal you. And when you stay calm under pressure, your true strength becomes visible. The strength that God planted in you from the beginning. The strength that cannot be taken away by circumstances. The strength that grows every time you choose faith over reaction. And the more you grow in this strength, the more you begin to walk in a kind of spiritual authority that no person, no situation, and no attack can weaken. There is something extraordinary that happens when you stop letting people decide your emotional climate. When you no longer rise and fall according to their behavior. When their words no longer pierce your spirit. When their opinions lose the power to shape your self-worth. When their moods no longer alter your peace. When their negativity no longer infects your mind. This is when you step into emotional independence. This is when you become unshakable. This is when you begin to shift from being controlled by circumstances to being guided by God. Some people will think your calmness means you don't care, but it means you care too much to give your peace away. Some will think your silence means weakness, but it means your wisdom is refusing to waste breath on battles beneath your calling. Some will think your stillness means confusion, but it means you trust God enough to wait for clarity instead of forcing direction. Some will think your restraint means surrender, but it means you understand that the battle belongs to God and your role is to stand firm while He works. There is a spiritual secret that only a few understand. When you act as though nothing affects you, you strip the world of its power to manipulate you. You break the chains of emotional bondage. You rise above the traps of frustration. You become invisible to the snares that used to stop you. You stop falling for the same emotional patterns. You stop being derailed by the same spiritual attacks. You stop being weakened by the same strategies. You begin to walk with the dignity and discipline of someone who recognizes their worth in the eyes of God. Every time you remain calm, you are demonstrating trust. Not trust in yourself, not trust in luck, not trust in the situation, but trust in the one who sees beyond the moment. Trust in the one who controls what you cannot. Trust in the one who knows where you are going and why the journey looks the way it does. Your peace is a declaration that God is in control. Your stillness is evidence that you refuse to let the temporary dictate the eternal. Your calmness is a testimony that you believe God can transform what looks impossible into something purposeful. And when you truly begin to walk like this, when you truly begin to act as if nothing affects you because your trust is rooted in God, doors begin to open with ease, opportunities begin to find you, blessings begin to align, strength begins to multiply. Because the more you detach from chaos, the more connected you become to divine flow. The more you disconnect from fear, the more room faith has to move. The more you ignore negativity, the more space God has to reveal His glory. Some breakthroughs come only when your spirit reaches a place of quiet surrender. When you stop trying to control everything and start trusting God in everything. When you stop trying to fix every problem and start believing that God is already orchestrating solutions. When you stop reacting to every disturbance and start anchoring yourself in God's presence. This is when your life begins to shift. This is when hidden blessings begin to surface. This is when delayed answers begin to accelerate. This is when God begins to show you that His timing is more powerful than your anxiety. When you act as though nothing affects you, you are not suppressing your humanity. You are elevating your spirituality. You are telling your soul, rise above this. You were created for more than this moment. You were built for purpose, not for impulsive reaction. And your soul listens, your soul remembers, your soul begins to align with the strength God placed inside you long before the world tried to weaken you. You must remember that the one who controls their reactions controls their destiny. The one who guards their peace protects their future. The one who carries stillness carries strength. And the one who remains unshaken is the one God can trust with greater responsibility. Because if the small storms break you, the big blessings will overwhelm you. But if you remain calm in difficulty, you will remain grounded in prosperity. You are not ignoring reality. You are elevating above it. You are not pretending the battle is small. You are acknowledging that God is bigger. You are not denying the difficulty. You are refusing to let it dominate your identity. This is maturity. This is evolution. This is divine alignment. And God will reward this alignment. God will honor your calmness. God will bless your discipline. God will elevate your restraint. God will multiply your strength. God will reveal His glory, not when everything is peaceful around you, but when everything remains peaceful within you. There comes a moment in your spiritual journey when you stop trying to prove yourself to people and begin proving your trust to God. When you reach this moment, your spirit becomes untouchable. You no longer flinch when others withdraw their support because you realize your help was never supposed to come from them in the first place. You don't collapse when circumstances shift because your foundation was never built on circumstance. You don't tremble when the future looks uncertain because you know the one who holds the future is more stable than anything you can see. This is the strength that rises in you when you act as though nothing affects you, not because you're numb, but because you're anchored. When you walk with a calm spirit in a chaotic world, you become a living reminder that God's presence is more powerful than human pressure. When others panic and you remain steady, you are carrying a message without speaking a word. You are demonstrating that your peace does not come from what surrounds you. It comes from the God who sustains you. And the remarkable thing is this: the more you rest in that peace, the more God entrusts to you. Because God elevates those who refuse to let emotional storms dictate their obedience. God expands those who can stand still even when everything around them is shifting. God pours wisdom into the ones who know how to silence their inner noise long enough to hear His direction. Acting as though nothing affects you is not about shutting down, it is about rising above. It is about stepping into a posture where peace becomes your armor and trust becomes your language. It is about living in a way where your reactions are not shaped by fear, insecurity, frustration, or the need for validation, but by a quiet confidence grounded in God's faithfulness. There is a spiritual nobility in this kind of restraint. There is excellence in this kind of composure. There is divine strength in this kind of calmness, and it becomes a magnet for God's glory. You may not realize it, but every time you choose silence instead of shouting, patience instead of panic, prayer instead of worry, and calmness instead of chaos, you are stepping into a form of worship. You are telling God, I trust your timing more than my impulse. I trust your guidance more than my fears. I trust your plan more than my frustration. And God responds to this quiet declaration. God draws near to the heart that steadies itself. God strengthens the soul that refuses to collapse. God guides the one who remains still long enough to notice His direction. Do you know the power of staying composed when your name is being questioned? Do you know the strength it takes to remain calm when your intentions are being misunderstood? Do you know how much discipline it requires to stay peaceful when you feel wrongly judged, unfairly treated, or unexpectedly betrayed? Yet, when you choose to act as if nothing affects you in moments like these, you are choosing to protect your destiny instead of defending your pride. You are choosing to let God handle what your words could only complicate. You are choosing to walk in wisdom instead of impulse. And wisdom is the pathway to promotion. There is a spiritual principle. Your reaction reveals your foundation. If you crumble easily, it means your foundation needs strengthening. If you panic quickly, it means your trust needs deepening. If you become offended easily, it means your spirit needs refining. But if you stand strong, if you stay composed, if you remain unmoved, your foundation is not on sand, it is on God's guidance. And a person rooted in God cannot be uprooted by minor storms. Every season of silence reveals something different about you. Silence reveals what you truly believe. Silence reveals what you truly fear. Silence reveals what you truly trust. Silence reveals the strength you didn't even realize God had placed inside you. Many battles are not won through action. They are won through alignment. When your soul is aligned with God, circumstances lose their ability to own your emotions. People lose their ability to decide your mood. Fear loses its ability to influence your decisions. And suddenly, you begin to live above the turbulence that once controlled. There is a majestic strength in moving through life as if the attacks cannot touch you, not because you are blind to them, but because you are protected through them. This is a posture of spiritual maturity. This is the mindset of someone who knows the difference between reacting out of emotion and responding out of wisdom. This is the behavior of someone who understands that God does not need loudness to demonstrate power. Sometimes God works most powerfully through your quietness. And when you understand this, you begin to see life differently. You stop rushing, you stop worrying, you stop taking things personally, you stop letting people's behavior become your emotional compass. You realize that not every comment needs a response. Not every conflict needs an argument. Not every situation needs your energy, because your peace is too precious to waste on what does not contribute to your destiny. God wants your peace intact because your peace is where He speaks. God wants your calmness preserved because your calmness is where you receive wisdom. God wants your heart steady because your steadiness is what carries you into the next season. And every time you choose peace over reaction, you make more room for God's voice to be heard in your life. Sometimes God allows disturbances not to break you, but to teach you divine indifference. Divine indifference does not mean you do not care. It means you care more about God's direction than about human noise. It means you recognize the difference between what deserves your attention and what deserves your silence. It means you know how to separate what is important from what is irrelevant on your spiritual path. This is what it means to grow. This is what it means to mature. This is what it means to walk with the dignity of someone who knows they are guided by God. Acting as if nothing affects you teaches you how to care. Rye yourself with spiritual integrity. It teaches you how to stay aligned with your purpose even when the world tries to distract you. It teaches you how to protect your energy from people who thrive on drama. It teaches you how to rise above negativity without absorbing it. And it teaches you how to move through life with a level of grace that becomes a shield around your heart. There is a profound beauty in the one who carries peace like a crown. There is something magnetic about someone who remains stable while others tremble. There is something undeniably powerful about a person who refuses to be dragged into conflict, chaos, or confusion. This kind of person becomes an instrument of God's presence on earth. This kind of person becomes a vessel through which God displays His quiet glory. This kind of person becomes a model of spiritual excellence. And you must understand, God is shaping you into this kind of person. Every disappointment that didn't break you was training. Every attack that didn't defeat you was preparation. Every loss that didn't swallow you was strengthening. Every betrayal that didn't destroy your heart was refining. Every hardship that didn't steal your peace was proof that God was building something unshakable within you. You are becoming someone who cannot be manipulated by fear. Someone who cannot be controlled through pressure. Someone who cannot be weakened by chaos. Someone who does not panic when seasons change. Someone who does not fall apart when people leave. Someone who does not lose themselves when life becomes unpredictable. Someone who stands tall, speaks little, and trusts deeply. This is the kind of person God raises when you act as though nothing affects you. In the end, remember this truth with unwavering conviction. When God decides to move in your life, nothing can stop His hand. What looked lost will be restored. What seemed broken will be rebuilt. What was taken from you will return in a form so refined, so purified, so elevated that you will understand why God allowed the delay. Every setback was positioning. Every disappointment was redirection. Every silent season was preparation for a recovery that human logic cannot explain. So walk forward with a heart that refuses fear, a mind anchored in trust, and a spirit aligned with the one who never fails. Lift your head high, because God is not finished with you. The story is not closing, it is entering its strongest chapter. The doors that were shut are about to open. The opportunities you thought you missed are circling back with greater force. The blessings you forgot are being rewritten with your name on them. Stand firm. Do not let doubt whisper lies into your destiny. You are not abandoned and you are not overlooked. God has been watching, calculating, measuring, and preparing every detail of your restoration. And now He is ready to do what only He can do. Turn loss into gain, sorrow into strength, and waiting into victory. Hold this truth close. When God steps in, nothing is ever truly lost. It is only being transformed for something greater. Your life is about to prove it.